You wake up to the sound of helicopters hovering above a massive estate you've never seen before, your head pounding as if you've just been pulled out of someone else's life. And before you can even sit up, two men in black suits with earpieces are already standing at the door watching you like you're the most important person in the world, or the most dangerous. And when one of them notices your confusion, he simply says, "Sir, the council is waiting," as if that sentence alone should explain everything. You look around the enormous bedroom. Marble floors, bulletproof glass windows, gold watches scattered on the nightstand. And then you see it, a framed newspaper headline sitting on the desk. Cartel king dead. His son to take the throne. Your stomach drops because somehow that son is you. Within minutes, you're escorted through the mansion by heavily armed guards who treat every step you take like it's a national security event. And as you walk through halls filled with expensive art and men whispering into radios, you realize something terrifying. Everyone here believes you are the new boss of one of the most powerful cartel empires in the world. When the doors of the meeting room open, more than 30 men stand up at the same time, their eyes locked on you with a mixture of loyalty and fear. And at the end of the table sits a thin man with glasses and a laptop who clears his throat and says calmly, "The empire is yours now, but the enemies are already moving." And suddenly maps, charts, and photos appear on the screen showing territories, smuggling routes, and rival groups waiting for a moment of weakness. You try to hide the panic in your voice as you ask what happened to the previous boss, and the room goes silent until the man with glasses answers quietly, "Your father was betrayed," and just like that, the air in the room changes, because now every person there is waiting to see whether you will avenge him or destroy everything he built. Over the next few days, you learn that the empire stretches across multiple countries, with warehouses, secret airstrips, loyal soldiers, and millions of dollars moving through hidden accounts every week. And somehow you are now responsible for all of it. The security chief, a scarred man who rarely smiles, shows you the armored vehicles and safe houses you'll need to survive, while the accountant walks you through the complex system of shell companies and money laundering that keeps the empire invisible to the outside world. And slowly you begin to realize that this isn't just about power. It's about survival, because if you fail, the rivals won't just take the empire, they'll take your life. Every night you hear reports of movements from enemy groups, whispers of betrayal from within, and rumors that someone inside the organization helped kill your father, which means the people standing beside you every day could secretly be planning your downfall. One evening, the security chief brings you a file containing photos of 3 men, each one powerful enough to challenge your authority, and he says only one sentence. One of them ordered the hit, and now the decision is yours. Trust them and risk everything, or strike first and prove that you deserve the throne. As days pass, you start making choices, small ones at first, then bigger ones, decisions that shift alliances and send messages to rivals who are watching closely, waiting to see if the new heir is weak or ruthless. The strange thing is that with every move you make, the fear inside you slowly turns into something else, something colder and more calculated, because you begin to understand the rule your father once lived by. In this world, hesitation is death. Finally, the moment arrives when one of the rival groups attempts to move into your territory, thinking the young heir will panic and retreat, but instead you call a meeting in the same room where you first stood, confused and powerless. And when the men gather this time, they don't see uncertainty in your eyes. They see something different, something that reminds them of the old boss. You give the order. The security chief nods, and within hours the message spreads across the underworld that the empire is still standing and the new leader is not someone to underestimate. But late that night, when a mansion finally grows quiet and the helicopter stops circling overhead, you sit alone in the massive office that once belonged to your father and stare at the city lights in the distance, wondering how a normal life could disappear in a single morning, because deep down you know the truth now. Being the heir of a cartel empire doesn't just mean power and wealth. It means living every day surrounded by loyalty you can't fully trust and enemies you may never see coming. And the most dangerous part of all is realizing that the longer you sit on the throne, the harder it becomes to remember who you were before you woke up in this life.